Okay, you come. Okay, come.
Namaste. There is a question, and the question is, how can that which is empty know itself unless there is some intelligence present in it?
Yes, good question. Good question. It cannot know itself, like I was saying before, like a knife that can cut so many objects, but it cannot cut itself because it is one thing. Or like a scale that can weigh so many objects, but it cannot weigh itself because it is one. Or the eyes that can see so many objects, so many things, but they cannot see themselves directly. The self being one cannot see itself. In order to have the taste of seeing itself or seeing, it has to do some kind of trick. It has to do some trick. And the greatest trickster of all is consciousness. It has to manifest through consciousness, which is the medium through which it can have the play of diversifying itself. Without this diversifying, without manifesting as innumerable forms, it cannot have the taste of otherness. Without otherness, there can be no knowledge. Can be no knowledge. Knowledge of what? Knowledge of what? You see? So there has to be a medium through which something can be tasted, called self-knowledge. But the taste of self-knowledge, you see, has to be identical with the beingness itself. I gave a story, some of you have heard it before. I was born in a small town in Jamaica, and in those days many people would come, particularly Americans in those days, and they would visit and they would really comment on our town, and because it's like a rainforest but by the sea at the bottom of the Blue Mountains. And they would say, you know, you guys, you live in paradise. You live in paradise. This is paradise. And we don't know what it means by this. Y'all live in paradise. Okay? So we don't know this thing. All you know is the good intention is meant because the vibration is good. You say, thank you, but you don't know what it means. What it means, paradise even. But then years came and I traveled to other countries, and then after 7 years of being away, I finally returned to Jamaica first time after first travel, and coming back into my hometown, I said, this is paradise. This is paradise, because then you can compare. You have something. I don't feel my town is more beautiful than anywhere else actually, no, because I've been around to such beautiful places, but then I felt I could appreciate this statement. But if you don't have something to compare, what you know. So in order to compare, to say that this is good, you have to have something that you feel this is bad or something. This is the play of interrelated opposites. And without a duality, it's not possible. Without duality, there cannot be knowledge. There cannot be experience. So duality is not a mistake. Divine intention. Otherwise, no experience. All this that we see, including the ego, all is the self. All of it is the one reality. Even illusions are part of the reality. Everything, if you understood it like this, that is the one self that manifests through consciousness and through forms and expresses itself as innumerable forms and embeds itself in each form in the feeling I am. And then further on from this I am feeling, which is not personal, gets further identified with the instrument through which it can taste experiencing and arises as a me, I am me, George, Susan, whatever it is. Then you can see how this projection took place, and that all of it, as far as it is extended, is all the one the one pure consciousness. I use the example like the aerial of a television that you can pull out. It's one unit. When you buy it, it comes in a very small packet. If you take that to be the totality, a representation of the totality, the pure consciousness, you open a packet and you extend it once. And that extension is the extension into I am. Before I am, just the absolute is there. It says nothing. It doesn't say I'm the absolute. It doesn't know anything. It just is what it is. But with that extension comes the extension, the feeling I am, which is when out of this pure and within this pure completeness, consciousness appears. And consciousness somehow is the experiential realm. And as soon as consciousness is present, it can only manifest through some form. I am the body comes. And after I am the body, extend, then all the world is there. So whether fully extended or contracted into one, it's still only one totality. How can this absolute know itself? Without projecting as all this diversity, it cannot know itself. It doesn't know it is. It doesn't know the feeling I am. The feeling I am is there for that to know itself in the way that we call knowledge, to have a taste of something. So it can only taste maybe an aspect or an expression of itself when it manifests as this diversity.
So then we are both unmanifest and also that.
Manifest, yes. I wonder if you follow this. I would like you just to put a little bit more juice into that. We are almost three-aspected actually, as the unmanifest, the invisible within the visible. And when that manifests first into that, the earliest representation of itself is the feeling I am. This I am in each form is a magnificent principle. It's the godly voice, the godly taste, the godly feeling within each form. I is actually God. I am. I is consciousness. I am. I am is not a person. It's not a man or woman. Male or female body is there. But the I am is not the male or female. But it will function through that body and draw upon itself whatever conditioning arises through that body. It will take on that conditioning. At the same time, it remains pure. And at the same time, it then gets manifested and hangs out in the modification, I am this person, these are my conditioning, that's what it makes. The sense I am is the truest part of our representation, of our manifestation. The sense just I am. But who we take ourselves to be is a mixture of I am plus the conditioning, I am the body, and whatever conditioning arose upon that. That's who we refer ourselves as, we refer to as ourselves. Even the ego itself is also the self. It's consciousness. Jiva is Shiva. But it's limited. It's limited to its the unique elemental construction that creates the voice and feel and flavor in this body. And the conditioning that arose around it, education, propaganda, all of these things, all this function, gives each form its unique taste. But the essence is the same. The essence is the I am. The essence is the I am. The perfume arising out of the I amness, when it's not associated with other qualities, is peace, and joy, space, compassion. That is its nature. When it's identified with the form, with conditioning, it develops some kind of aggression, desire, attachment, fear. All these come for it. Spirituality or religions is only to strain out, to comb out the conditioning, to transcend them, so that the I amness remains only as I am, unassociated being. Therefore, It is the I amness that is meditating with the mind in order to transcend the mental influence, the mental conditioning. This is what Bhagwan Ramana Maharshi meant when he says, the I removes the I, yet remains the I. The I am combs out the I am me, I am the conditioning, I am the preferences, I am the attached, I am the man, I am the woman. Combs it out means it transcends it and remains only as the intuition, that feeling of conscious presence, the sense I am. The sense I am is the God within you. That I amness is synonymous with consciousness. It's available in the waking state and dream state. In deep sleep state, I am is not there. In deep sleep, the sense I am is not there. And no one is afraid to go into deep sleep, which is transcendent to even I am. We spend good money to buy the best bed, to forget everything, even yourself. Even you could be married this morning, as I say, honeymoon tonight. You cannot take your bride or your groom into that state with you. No one. You could have a newborn baby. When deep sleep comes, you cannot be a mother or father in that state. And yet, we love this state, which is beyond consciousness. When you're not a father, not mother, not son, no future, no time, no past, no God even, no religion, no belief. Nothing is there with you. And we're in love with that. No consciousness. Consciousness is there in subtle way because we enjoy sleep. Have we considered these things? So that which was there in deep sleep is right now here with us. Is our own being. Now consciousness is here so that we can comprehend things, we can contemplate, we can discuss. These are the attributes of consciousness. These are the abilities within consciousness. So both the sense of being and someone who can experience something and that which you are experiencing and the very function of experiencing, all of that is the play of consciousness, is the content of consciousness. You are aware that you are conscious. That awareness of your consciousness is prior to consciousness even. We don't contemplate these things, so it seems ridiculous. No? That the only way you have of knowing is within the realm of consciousness and the mind. And this is true. The only way you have of knowing objectively is like that, with the consciousness. Yet something knows consciousness. That emptiness that we together looked and that somehow announced itself with the previous friend who was here, that emptiness is also here, timelessly. It does not move over for the mind to come and sit down. It is like space. Space is everywhere present. But wind has to move about and stop, move and stop. But space does not move about. Our beingness, our self, our soul self is like this space. It doesn't come and go.
So, would then the sage be that aspect of that intelligence that arises out of this emptiness that knows itself to be both?
Yes. That principle knows itself as the totality, the all-inclusive. But that aspect of itself which manifests as personality, it has no interest in it at all, knowing that it's completely illusory. regarding that realm of enjoyment as very gross even. Because the higher taste, which is just a consciousness contemplating itself, cannot be transcended by merely object enjoyment. But object enjoyment is there because that principle also tastes object food through this object body and enjoy it. But it's not dwelling in the field of duality in that extent. So therefore, he cannot feel hatred, knowing that the root of all sentient beings is the same as himself. It cannot be in division. There can be superficial play of likes and dislikes, but as I said, they are superficial. They are not consequential, not deep, playful. And to such an extent that that one would not pay any attention to it. Meaning that there's no registration of those movements being held inside the psyche or the mind or memory. It's not significant. For yourself, ourself also is like this. So many things are the potential for becoming involved in so many things is open to us, but you're not distracted by them because there's no interest. There's no interest, and what you have no interest in won't trouble you.
So, would you say then that the sage also has an ego, but is not, let's say, hypnotized by it?
What is the, let me ask all of you, by what criteria is the ego evaluated, from inside or outside? Do you evaluate your own ego or someone else tell you about your ego? Which one is the real position? How do we denote the ego? You say, okay, because this one has got an ego, so therefore, oh, this one has. Or you feel within you, oh, there's still ego here. Which is the way that can confirm reliably what is ego? Ego is only an idea believed in. There's only the self and its manifestation, the sense I am. Ego is a very flimsy part of its projection. When it believes itself to be the body, a particular conditioning, it really believes in it and it hasn't really contemplated it, then the belief in this, in I am the body, I am the mind, I am my programming, creates so much distortion, so much corruption in the consciousness, so much suffering, ill-conceived, not real. So to speak about how to help the ego, I mean, what medicine will you give a ghost with a toothache? It is a bit like this. For one who can look, it's all assumptions. Mostly we are living in a realm of assumptions. I am like this, you're like this. And because of the belief in this, you believe it into existence. This is what we are experiencing. You are perceiving what you are conceiving. I wonder if you follow this. These things, ourselves, we have to understand them. My feeling is that this is our highest opportunity, is to know who we are clearly. Knowing means know and be that. And that's the only remedy for all the suffering that takes place on the planet. We are not aware of the nobility of that principle that is moving inside this body. It's capable of immense goodness, immense badness also. Transcending the mental projections, mental identification, here's really the opportunity of a human being. to stay with that feeling I am. Find that feeling. I don't even want to say find the feeling I am. Your very sense of being is the feeling I am. When you say I is I am. I is I am. I is consciousness. Full stop. Simple. This is the true meaning and import of I. Not I am this, I am Egyptian, I'm Spanish, I'm English. This is secondary. That's not original to you. That came later. I is consciousness.
So all of this intelligence and all of that appears in it.
Yes.
Then it is I.
All that appears in I has the same DNA as I. Just like you go to sleep, you could be sleeping in a cardboard box and you dream a world of traveling over rivers and seas and mountains and cities, meet new friends, you meet people who speak languages that you don't understand, and if you want to learn these languages you have to go to a language school in your dream and find a dream teacher who will teach you your dream language. You don't have monopoly, you don't have advantage because it's your dream, because it's my dream, I can learn whatever I want. You're like a citizen of equal stature as any other citizen in your dream. And yet, it's uniquely your dream. When you wake up, where did all these things take place? Here. In here, your world was just like this world. It had order to it. Water was wet, fire was hot. Potatoes taste like potatoes and not like tomatoes. Everything was there in its unique flavor. And yet all of it was constructed out of dream material. All of this is a consciousness. Even the forms are consciousness. Everything's consciousness. I'm not asking anyone to learn these things. I don't think they are not the biting thing to learn right now. Just follow the footprints of I am. Follow it back. Or hold on to the sense I am, the natural sense in us. And don't let it connect with other concepts. Keep it to itself. Do it 5-10 minutes as often as you can. And it will begin to reveal some of the things that we're talking about now. It will come for you. You don't have to go to any library or temple, even if you don't feel. If you do, of course you do. Do what you want, in fact. But if you say you want to find out, start at the place of the I am. There's nowhere you have to go to find that. It's right with you. Just sit a little bit, perhaps in the evening, not when you're tired. Sit down, give it 10-15 minutes if you want. Just find that natural sense I am, the feeling. And you'll feel other thoughts coming in to say, come, let's play, to images coming in that you could, but hold on to the feeling I am. You can do it because you have the power. It's there already. You don't have to create it. Stay with it. In a short time, you'll feel the buzz of other thoughts and the magnetism of other thoughts and feelings. It will cool off and settle down in that natural spaciousness, in the taste, the feeling I am. It will stay there. Watch that feeling I am. Stay with it. All this listening, all this world of comprehending, of contemplations, meditations, they all arise out of that intuition I am. Whatever race, whatever nation, whatever time, all of them were baptized in the feeling I am. Every sentient being have the taste I am in them. Just like every creature that's living in the ocean is wet, all sentient beings have the flavor I am in them. Start with the feeling I am. Here. So that whatever you do, let that contemplation stay with you. You can do it. When you eat in I am. When you walk in I am. Sit in I am. After a certain while, the I am feeling will not leave you. It will just be there. And further on from that, you will not feel any separation between I and I am. It will just be your natural sense of being. I say this because we still feel there's something we have to do. You have to go out and fetch something. But what you have to fetch is your own I am. It's right here with you. Just this. This is the important starting point, middle point also. Other things come later, and they are less important, I'll tell you. Because whatever practice you do, the I amness has to be there. Only thing is we're looking away from the I am towards some objective thing which you cannot sustain unbroken attention with anything. It keeps coming and going. Hold on to the feeling I am. Don't let it get colored by anything else. Try it. Quickly it begins to mature in itself. The strength of focus will stay. And by itself, you will feel in a short time immense peace and space in yourself. If you had 30 questions before, there may only be 5 left. In a short time, they also will go. Because it is question-free, this feeling I am. It is the presence of divinity when there is manifestation. And what can you have something more to say?
I could carry on, but but
there's no need to carry on.
But I appreciate this great opportunity.
Yeah,
so I want to give this opportunity to someone else also.
Yes, but you have taken the opportunity now. Also, you fulfilled your opportunity.
What it feels is that from these last words that were said, the I am, it feels that it's self-sufficient, and that in that sense that I am, which is apparently found here, it's also present. It's also I am. So the feeling is that intelligence which operates through what we call Mooji is I am.
Yes. Hold on to your own I am, and all distinctions will go. And then I would like to see some feedback from you. What have you discovered? What have you discovered? This is